I struggled with infertility for years. I had my first miscarriage when I was 14 years old due to an incompetent cervix. I was 19 weeks and 3 days, and went on 10 years later, had a second miscarriage. And then when I got married, after about a year of trying, my doctor sent me to a reproductive endocrinologist and said, you won't be able to have a baby without reproductive assistance. So he sent me there, and all I did was I had the consultation with this doctor, with the specialist, and I was diagnosed with multiple factor infertility. I had so many things wrong. At this time, I was almost 30. I was overweight. I was, again, I had the incompetent cervix that we knew about. I had had a surgery, a laparoscopic surgery, where they told me my fallopian tubes were now blocked. They told me that I had a uterine septum. So they said, your fallopian tubes are blocked, so you can't get pregnant. But if by some miracle you did, the baby couldn't even implant, the zygote couldn't implant into the right place because of the way your uterus is shaped. And they said this is something I was born with, something that was a congenital thing. And so it seemed kind of hopeless. And they said, we'll do testing. So you come in at the very first day of your next menstrual cycle, you come in. So I said, okay. And I went home and I broke down. My mom was in town, and I broke down. I cried and I cried and I cried, and she was trying to comfort me. And I said, but Mom, you don't understand. You have children. You can't possibly understand what I'm going through. And when I finished crying and I picked myself up off the floor, I just told God, I'm giving this to you. I said, God, if you mean for us to have the surgery, the reproductive assistance, then provide the way. This, over $20,000 this was going to be. And I just said, if you mean for us to do it, you provide the means to do it. And I let it go. I gave it to God. I truly did. And our pastor, at the same time, we had a service where our pastor had us write down a health condition and to just tear it up and throw it on the altar. And so, again, after that, I let it go. I wasn't stressed about it anymore. I know what it means to give something to God, because in that moment I did. And so a couple weeks later, I get a call from the reproductive endocrinologist.